Alright, so now that you have your writing portfolio created in Google Sites and you've created a page for the different English classes as well as a subpage for all of the different writing assignments that you'll have, it's time to show you how to upload a piece of writing from Google Classroom. So make sure that you are working in Google Chrome as always, and if you're uploading from Google Classroom, that means that it's an assignment that you have submitted onto Google Classroom, and then it will automatically save into that folder. So we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, how to upload a timed writing piece, because it's a little bit different than if you were uploading from Google Docs. Because a timed writing, you tend to handwrite the piece in class, and then what you need to do is just take a picture once you're finished with your phone of the front and back, and then you'll submit that onto whatever assignment your teacher's created onto Google Classroom. So if you click on timed writing, because that's the piece we're going to do, then you take your mouse and scroll up to the top. We're already clicked on pages, but I need you to go to the left and click insert. This shows us the different ways that you can insert something onto this page. You could do a text box, which I'll show you in a little bit. If you save the image to your computer rather than saving it into Google Classroom, then you can click on images, or from Drive, which is how I'm going to show you. It also gives you some different layouts that you can use based on how many pictures you might have. So I happen to know that the sample I'm going to upload has a front and a back, so it's 2. So I'll click on that. And the pro of using the layouts that are given is it already puts it into like a nice, neat, organized space. So you won't have to really worry about just making it all lay out properly, thus it's a layout. So what you need to do is hover over this little image box and hover over the plus button, click on that, and then scroll down to From Drive. So your Google Drive will open and it will show you all the folders that you might have. You probably don't have this many, but you're going to find one for Google Classroom. That one's automatically created the moment that you enroll in a Google Classroom at any time while you've been in Alvin ISD. So you're going to double click on Classroom. Then it's going to show you every single class that you've ever been enrolled in while an Alvin ISD student. You probably won't have this many. This is every class period I have taught in the district. You're going to scroll down to the one you need, and I'm going to use one from this, so I'll double click on it. And then it shows you every single assignment that you might have had in this particular class. So if it's the beginning of the year, you'll only have a couple. This shows all the ones that my students had during the last school year. So I'm going to scroll down to timed writing, because that's the one I'm going to do, and I'm going to double click on it. This will only show you what you have submitted on this assignment. So you only have 1 or 2 images, so don't be worried if you don't have this many. This is all of my students' work. So I'm going to scroll down and find the image that I want. This is the one I want. It's the beginning of her paper. So I'm going to click it, I'm going to click insert, and it drops it right here. So this is where there's a difference between an image from a handwritten page and if it was a Google Doc. If this was a Google Doc that you had submitted, you would only see a thumbnail, but once it was published or once you were looking at the actual site, your teacher or you would be able to scroll through this image and read everything. But this picture won't let you do that. So what you need to do is click here on this little blue dot and pull down until you see everything. So I'm going to click it again, scroll, make sure I can see the whole writing sample. I'll go back and double check so I can see her heading all the way through the bottom of that page. Now I'm going to click here and upload the back page. So I'm going to click From Drive again, double click Classroom, scroll down to this particular class, double click it, scroll down until I find the correct assignment, double click that, and then I'm going to find her second page, and I will just double click it. So it drops it again. So again, I need to resize it so that I can see the whole thing. So you'll notice I clicked and it put a square around the whole box. I'm going to click again on the notebook paper image and get to this blue dot and pull down till I get here. You'll notice that I could see the whole paper earlier, but just for sizing and to make things equal, I'm just going to go ahead and pull extra. One thing you might notice is when she took this picture with her phone, you couldn't see the whole thing. It wasn't quite centered like it is here. So make sure when you take an image that it's got the entire paper kind of centered in the middle so that you don't worry about words or the beginnings of words being cut off. So once those are sized correctly, then you can click here where it says click to edit text. And this might be where you put your title. So I'm going to put timed writing number 1. And I'm going to click enter, October 2018, because that's when we wrote that piece. This all depends on what you want to do and or what your teacher says to do. You could put something under here if you wanted to put, you know, the same title because it's the same piece, whatever you want. In this box, you might choose to write a reflection here if your teacher requires it, or if you want to get ahead because at the end of the year all the students are required to do a writing reflection of all of your work for the year. So this might be a nice like head start so you don't have to go through and reread all of your papers all over again if you didn't want to. And then you're done there. If working in a layout doesn't seem like something you want to do and you want to be more freeform, you could just go up here, and it's the same process. Click on From Drive. Again, double-click Classroom. Go to the proper class, double-click it. Go to the proper assignment, double-click that, and then select whichever one. So here you can see the entire paper, but it's really small. So I might go through and resize. That would probably then make me have to drag it down to the bottom again like we did earlier, but you kind of get the gist of that. If you wanted to move it to this side of the paper and then add a caption, you could just click back into this white space and then under Insert, click Text Box. It automatically puts it underneath. I'm going to drag it here, and then I can click to edit text right here. So timed writing number 1, and then October 2018. And that is all there is to adding your writing samples directly from Google Classroom assignments.